Think
All
my
right,
hair.
we're gonna wait just a second here, but if y'all watching this here recording afterwards, thank you very much for showing up. Elite Barbecue Smokers and myself, I'm Jason Hardy. Over here, the man to our far right is Mr. Justin. Introduce yourself, Mr. Justin.
Justin Holt Brothers Barbecue out of Charlotte, North Carolina.
And the man in the center of the sandwich we got right here, Mr. Chad. Introduce yourself.
Hey, I'm Chad, but no coffee needed.
Yes, sir. Chad was kind of with us down in Greenwood, and he done some interviews and kind of got behind the scenes. Got a video posted out here. If you haven't seen, it's pretty cool behind the scenes video of competition, a really good competition. But he's gonna talk about that in a few minutes. But I'm gonna let everybody say while waiting on some viewers to get online, say thank you for showing up. I'm gonna do kind of my intro here, and then we're also gonna do kind of the advertising spot, and then we get to it. And I thought it was pretty cool.
That was cool.
I thought that was pretty cool here. Working on that in a little while here. Now I gotta get that one. So that was kind of the intro we got going on. I also sponsored this video, Hope to Be Future Podcast, and we got Mr. Aaron's in the house. Mr. Aaron, good seeing you. Thank you for being here online with us. We got kind of a, like I said, rough idea what we're going to talk about now on agenda, but again, this is totally just unscripted. So if anybody got anything to talk about, ask questions, let us know. Hey, also let me just think about the video we done on trimming the brisket, kind of like ended ribs. Kind of give you an idea of what y'all's thought process is from that. And if you got something you want us to show you something else doing, let me know. We greatly appreciate that. So, Justin, how about yourself? Anything this past weekend? I know I didn't compete. I've seen some people competing there. And
No competitions. We were on the road the last 4 out of 5 weekends, so I needed a break to catch up on some work. And my brother came into town, so we went to the minor league baseball game here Friday night. That was a ton of fun. Brought his nephew, or my nephew, his youngest son, and we swam in the pool after we got back until like midnight. It was a pretty low key weekend. Not a lot going on, which feels good when you've been on the road a whole bunch at a lot of different contests. So Paul has convinced me not to do Apex, but he does want to head down to Savannah. So I think that's probably going to be our next contest. Is going to be what is it called down there? August. Swine Shrine.
Yep, Swine Shrine.
Yep. So just started kind of getting a little game plan together for that because I thought that's many weeks off, and then I started looking and I was like, nope, that's like 2 weeks away. So I should probably start get my stuff together. July kind of flew through there.
Yeah, we're gonna head down. That's our next one too. We got a little catering job this weekend, but our next one is down in Savannah Swine Shrine, and that's gonna be a heavy hitting team contest.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think they got 50 teams there now.
Yep, and if you look at the list, it's a lot of the same guys that we were up against at Greenwood too. So it should be a humdinger.
Yeah, I mean, speaking about Greenwood, we were talking about that the other day, but there's probably 60% of people in that field has GC, not that contest, but has GC in the past couple of years, and that's just the level of teams out there was insane at Greenwood. It's just, but every contest we go to, I mean, we've said it before, it's like getting in a boxing rematch in a phone booth.
Mm-hmm.
Because the thing about the East Coast is there's only usually one contest. Is everybody goes to that one contest from all the way up there to New York, Pennsylvania, down to Florida.
Mm-hmm.
It's usually one contest. So everybody wants to compete. So everybody just goes to one contest. But I don't know if we've got enough teams that are dedicated that can split this thing up into two contests and really have it profitable or worthwhile for the reps and stuff. Organizers, I mean. But yeah, I think Tip Festival Discovery done a great job. Awesome contest.
Mm-hmm.
This past weekend, give a shout out to Uncle Pigs. He got a GC, and Old Virginia Smoke got RGC up there in Wise. That was a tough field too.
Yeah, for sure.
So them boys done good. Everybody got calls out there. Congratulations, that's pretty cool.
I got to give a shout out to my DB 180 teammate Jamie Thomas. He's SCA cook, and he got first in the anything Wampler sausage Friday night ancillary at the SCA contest. So that was really cool to see. He kind of kills it on the ancillary side of things. He had already gotten a golden ticket too, so he was able to kick it down to Terry from 270 Smokers. Not that they need any. Got a whole stack of them, but I don't think Terry had an ancillary one yet. So
that's crazy.
Shout out to him. Jamie's actually been thinking about getting into some backyard KCBS contest to kind of dip his toes a little bit in that. So I think he did a little practice run of chicken while he was up there, since he was around some good KCBS cooks, and had some people try it, and gave him some good honest opinions on it. So you can't get a better practice run than that, right?
No. Yeah, Aaron, I was talking with Luke Darnell, and he was telling about that contest he's going to also same weekend in Savannah. So that is, I think it's Pennsylvania, if I'm not badly mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
So it's probably far enough north, and there's a lot of teams in Northeast. It just seems like it's just every year it's just like, I don't know, just split them up. I know in the fall there's a lot of stuff going on, but yeah, that's going to be we've done Hershey, Pennsylvania at one time, and that was a beautiful place, whole area up there. But I'll say this: those roads are made for wagon and buggies. They're not made for a truck and a 40-foot camper.
Yeah.
All right, they are not made for that.
Yeah,
I promise you.
Country up there.
A beautiful area, but you start pulling a 20-some foot truck and a 40-foot camper. I mean, and GPS puts you on a dirt road. Yeah,
you take
it's not
the whole lane.
Yeah. And the worst thing, get to the little bridges. You off the main road, get to the little bridges. They like this wide. And I'm sitting going like, seriously, y'all? But anyhow, Chad, you on here? No coffee needed here. Tell us about what you was down there in South Carolina Festival Discovery. Tell us what you done and what your takeaway was from it.
Yeah, so I appreciate the opportunity to just come on here and talk about Festival Discovery a little bit and what we did. I've already told you I grew up in Greenwood. That's where I was born and raised, and just moved here about 3 years ago. So I've been around that Festival of Discovery since its inception. It's 22 years ago, I guess it was. And so anyway, it's just real neat to see it all grow and how it just has evolved over a period of time. But this past 2 weeks ago, when the competition was going on, I did see a lot of great teams, a lot of familiar names that were there, like you were talking about. There's a lot of them that have been, gotten that big trophy across the country. They're different competitions, but it was great being able to talk to you. And I talked with Gene with Backwoods, but it was just great just being able to talk and chat to everybody else and getting to hear everybody's take on what they were doing a little bit different. And I like to know what everybody's doing dessert wise. So it's pretty neat to see and listen to the different desserts and the different variations that were coming out of there. I enjoyed there's a lot of good barbecue on the Taster's Choice side. I know that you weren't in that, but there were a lot of good barbecues on that Taster's Choice. So I enjoyed, I think I bought about 25 tickets and tried about 25 different ones. And, they were all good. Naturally, there were some a lot better than others, but they were all really good.
You're probably full after that. That's a lot of barbecue samples.
That's right. It was. So my mom and dad, I went with them, or we all went together. So we just kind of got 25. I ended up getting 30, and we just kind of shared it. But yeah, all of us were still full after eating 25 or 30 samples. But yeah.
Very cool.
Your family still live up there?
Yeah. So my kids still live there. My parents live there. My wife's family lives there. So yeah.
Yeah, so you live now in the Myrtle Beach Grandstand area we talked about. You working with Habitat for Humanity, is that correct?
Correct, yeah. So I work with that's what brought me here, was Habitat for Humanity.
Very cool.
Yeah. It's a good organization. They do a lot of good for the community.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, y'all definitely do a lot for that. We appreciate everything y'all do with that. Talking about the entries on the Friday night stuff, anything but, and the dessert entry. Justin, what'd you do anything but? What's your entry for that?
We actually skipped anything but this year. I got my butt handed to me in both of the entries over the last 2 years there. So I set it out this year. I kind of regretted it. I really like doing creative stuff, but I just wanted to take it easy on Friday night. So unfortunately, I didn't do it this year. I did one of the podcasts coming out is with Jason Singletary, so I kind of cornered him on his winning entry, which was simply just sausage balls with barbecue sauce on it, which I think is the funniest thing ever. But that he won the contest with that. But yeah, we set it out this year.
I'll tell you something. If anybody's got a golden horseshoe, that is Jason Singletary.
I told
He's
him
a
when he
good
got
cook.
on stage and she asked him, "Tell us what you made," and I could just see the look on his face, and he was like, "I don't know if I should or not." Sausage balls. That's it.
And threw in barbecue sauce and turned them in, right?
That's all we did, man. And he said he didn't even get to try them because there were 3 left, and he went to turn them in. And when he came back, everybody was hanging out at his trailer, and they'd eaten all of them. So,
but he's a really good cook. He's a great guy. Probably tell you anything he's doing, and he's a good cook. But
what did you make?
I ended up doing I didn't have everything I needed because I was gonna didn't have toothpicks. I should have went and asked some people, but I didn't have that. So I basically took an egg, made basically a sausage casserole in a muffin pan. Basically made that is what my take on it was. Just kind of because what I wanted to make, I didn't have everything I needed to. And I was doing some of it because I know that they have the sponsors or celebrity judges and people are involved in the contest. They bring them in there as far as them being sponsors. They kind of get to eat the desserts. They get to eat the other parts to it. So I was like, well, let's just turn it in because our plans going to the contest with work and schedules and YouTube and stuff here, we wasn't able to get everything done. So we were just like, well, let's just make this, and we know we can make this. And like the dessert, we done my God, my mind just went blank. A peach cobbler, cast iron skillet peach cobbler.
Oh, yum!
Oh, it was delicious. Michelle, isn't that what we done? Yeah, that's what we done. Peach cobbler here.
How
The thing about it, sir.
How did you get it served in the tray?
So I thought the dessert we had. I wish I had a picture of it, but I don't have it on my phone. I don't think I do. So I took the cast. I had some mason jars in the refrigerator in a camper, some small mason jars. So we took them out of the mason jars and we put them in the out of that cast iron and put in mason jars. Then we had half a pie left over, and I'm the type of person if it's there, it's gonna probably get eaten. You know what I mean? So we decided that we needed to. I don't have a picture of it, or I'd show it to you. But we took the half of the cast iron peach cobbler and put it in mason jars. And they took the mason jars and put it in the cast iron with the other half still in there.
That's cool.
No, apple pie, cast iron apple pie, not
Okay.
peach cobbler. We've done some peach cobbler for YouTube videos. That's what I was thinking about. But we done the apple pie, cast iron apple pie. It was delicious. It really, truly was. But we didn't want to sit there and just have it because we're cooking food and everything else. So we just took half of it and put it in mason jars and then put the mason jars inside the cast iron and turn that in. It looked cool. It was really good, but cheesecake wins.
Every time.
Hold on a minute. What'd you say, Michelle?
I said it wasn't cheesecake.
Yeah, Michelle said it wasn't cheesecake. And our plan was originally to do cheesecake. It really was. But with everything going on, we didn't end up doing it. But Michelle's the dessert one. I don't do that. But hats off to One Eyed Pig on 180.
Perfect 180 too. Perfect score.
And of course, they turn in cheesecake.
Yep.
But they done awesome with that. That was a lot of fun. So Chad, what did you think about the whole experience? You got a little bit more behind the scenes stuff. What did you think about it?
Yeah, I really thought it was great. I really enjoyed the whole event from a spectator's perspective. I mean, it was really enjoyable. Everybody was real friendly. Seemed like the crowd was a little off. I don't know if y'all saw that this year. It seemed like the crowd might have been a little off, but they might have been the way it was rearranged. I know they had a few of the teams a little farther apart and rearranged a couple of them, so that might have helped out with the congestion in a couple of areas. But it was really nice. The weather was perfect. I mean, I know it was hot for y'all, but I wasn't there Thursday night. I think there was a thunderstorm or something that came up Thursday night. But Friday, Saturday was great. I thought the weather was wonderful. A little warm, but it is July, so you got to expect that in South Carolina, right? So
July in Greenwood, man. If it ain't hot, there's something weird going on.
yeah, that's exactly right.
But I'm gonna tell you something.
It was really nice.
Saturday was the coolest Saturday I've ever been in Greenwood in my life.
Yeah, I have to say that storm that came through Friday night kind of blew the heat out a little.
I mean, Friday was bad. Friday was hot. But Saturday, I don't think it got above 85. It was absolutely beautiful Saturday.
Yeah, it was really nice.
I mean, it was. I've been down there whenever I used to have my trailer up there in the intersection where it's always just asphalt. I've had 2 ACs, and I was sitting there going like, "Good Lord, this ain't working."
Golly, with 2.
Yeah.
Wow.
And now, but also back then I had my smokers inside my trailer, so it was all mounted in there. But but we moved over yonder where we at with the shades, and I got probably, I think, one of the best areas to be at in the whole country.
Yeah, we're kind of in Florida North, where we're at up there, man. All the Florida teams seem to end up right there around us.
So do you see I had Tim Malloy playing country music?
Yep.
Wasn't that awesome?
That was really cool. Then right on the other side of me was Chuck and Carrie East from Off the Chain Barbecue, which was cool. She brought me a battery Friday morning when I realized my battery was out on one of my clocks in the trailer, which you don't want to be, not have at least 2 clocks in your trailer, to keep up with everything. So that was really cool.
Yeah. That's the thing about it. I mean, we've talked about it before, and it's just always people are just very much into helping out and stuff here as a whole family.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, that's one thing I'll take away from barbecue as far as competition side of it. Is just, it's the only thing I've ever seen where it's so competitive about it, but at the same time is we'll help each other out. And I've said this in my interviews on site, because frankly, I want you to turn in good food. Because if you don't turn in good food, it's going to kill the table, and I'm going to die. I want you to be.
That's yep.
I want you to have good food. But I enjoy it. I think it's great opportunities. I mean, do a lot of it. Not as much we used to do. So you got to go ahead. Sorry, Chad.
That's one thing I noticed. I mean, competition. The competitors are extremely competitive against each other. But it's great to see the different pit masters pick on each other and cut up and laugh, even before the competition starts and even during the whole weekend. It's just nice to see how much of a family it really is and how everybody gets along, and still be so competitive. But they don't let that get in the way of being friends and helping each other out. I saw a lot more of that this past weekend than I think I have in the years past. Mm-hmm. And maybe it's because I was paying more attention. But it was, but that's really neat. You talk about how, somebody brought you a battery, compare notes and talk to each other. It really is kind of, the whole barbecue scene is like a big family in a way.
Well, one of the things I think that really, from a competition standpoint, everybody looks at outside and looks in, they think competition, that it's going head to head. I'm going against Justin. And there's some truth to that. But the reality is that I'm really competing against myself, with the judges out here judging it blind. So it's not like they're going to score on table saying this one's 1, 2, 3, and 4. They're going to say that it was they're just going to give you all 180s. You get it all up perfect. Everybody gets 180s, and then it's a flip a coin in there. So I mean, that's something other things a little bit different than a lot of people truly understand. It is a competition, but it's really truly a competition against yourself. And it's really hard to explain and understand that. Hold on a second.
So I like your shirt, Justin.
Thank you.
Your wine. Yeah.
I love cherry wine too, man.
I've gotten hooked on this Dr. Pepper Zero though for some reason, but I do love cherry wine.
Man,
Sorry about that.
I love some cherry wine. I actually just got some cherry wine syrup. They started selling it on their website. It comes in the same bottle as a 20-ounce cherry wine, but it's super sweet. You can eat it on ice cream. I got it to kind of think about ancillaries and stuff that I do at SCA and SCBA contest if I could work it in. But yeah, it's I'd say probably 20% of my blood is cherry wine. The other 30% is Mountain Dew and then sweet tea consisting of the rest of it.
I'll have to try it out, and I'm sure you'll figure out something unique and special to do with that syrup. Yeah.
Oh, do we have comments on here?
One thing on the subject of the family aspect and people cheering on each other, which is, in competition barbecue. And Jason, I asked if you had watched the new barbecue show which is Barbecue USA I think it's on the Cooking Network.
I've seen the first one. I haven't seen the new one.
Yeah, so I watched the one that came on this morning before I got started on work. And it had Robbie Royal and Chuck and Carrie from Off the Chain and a couple other GBA teams at a GBA contest. And, I would say to anybody, and I told some people on a call today for work, if you really want to see what it's like at a barbecue contest, you should watch that show. They've done a really good job kind of really showing, what goes into it, how early you're getting up in the morning, stressing to get things to the table with 30 seconds left in the window, and then watching everybody stand up and cheer for you, for everybody that gets a walk at the awards. And I thought it was really cool.
Yeah, it's definitely
that GBA though, man, doing that pork loin. I was like, golly, man, I would come in dead last, man.
Well, it's just like competition we do. I mean,
yeah.
I remember my first box I turned in. I had a bunch of pulled pork just in the bottom box. I thought the best thing I ever had in the world. Got mad I didn't win. Looking at it back now, I'm lucky that they even didn't kick me out the whole event because it's just, I mean, there's no way in the world I could have won that contest. But in my mind, I think I knew everything it is about barbecue.
Mm-hmm.
Now, knowing what I know now, I'm looking back at it like,
real quick.
It's bad. But my thing is that taking that to the port loin, that's the whole thing about it is it's just we don't do that to the level that they have, and so it's different,
I love watching them build their boxes. Like Robbie even had a meat slicer, and so he was taking and carving off real thin sheets of it, and he'd curl it up in these little twists, like little tubes of it, and he had them laid out on one corner of his box, to be a little bit unique. And I was like, that is so cool, but so challenging. Like it was kind of like SCBA, they really had to showcase that whole loin of all kinds of slices, chunks, those little curls, whatever you want to call those. I took notes though. I was like, maybe I'll start practicing some loins. They are pretty cheap at Costco.
I love doing loins
here or there.
I want to go do. They haven't this next weekend, and I'm not going. But I want to get a group of guys together and go there to Wise, and I want to do that Memphis.
Yeah, Memphis one.
Yeah, I want to go do a team and do that one, and just to see kind of what I've never done that.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of see how that is and see how that stacks up to it. Because one day maybe I'll go to Memphis in May, but some stuff has to make a lot more money before I can do that because that's expensive.
Yeah, that'd be a challenge too. You'd have to pick one or the other if you don't have a big team to try to pull both of those at the same contest.
Yeah. So Justin, you got a podcast posting this week.
I got two of them actually.
Two of them.
We did Noel K and Jason Singletary, both on the same day. Both of them were a little bit over an hour. They were both really, really great discussions. Noel talked a lot about family and his goals, switching over to doing judging this year. We talked about his health and his weight loss and, how that really impacted everything that he's doing, which is super positive. I cornered Jason on his sausage balls. Found out that Jason has never won a brisket category in his entire barbecue career, which was the craziest thing I could ever think to hear from him. So that's one of his big goals. But I got to mix and level both of them, and I'm hoping to get them both out on Friday. So I'm going to release both of them at the same time so that everybody can have if they're traveling this weekend, they can have 2 good hours of stuff to listen to. So hats off to both of those guys for taking time out of their Sundays to sit down with me.
Yeah, Chrissy, we look forward to barbecue every year too. So the second question is, what's your favorite sauce? Mustard base or vinegar base? Go ahead, Justin.
Well, I grew up near Lexington, so I'm still partial to Lexington style sauce, which is, vinegar, very light tomato, a lot of crushed red pepper mixed in with it. That being said, I do love a good mustard sauce. I like mustard sauce that's a little bit sweet as well, with some honey mixed in with it. To be a hard pick, if they were both at the table, I'd probably go with the vinegar. Now, that's not true. It depends on what it's on. If it's pork and it's chopped, then I'm going to go with the vinegar sauce. If we're doing some brisket or some chicken.
Whoa. Time out. Now, back up a minute. You going to put what on brisket?
I'll eat some mustard sauce on brisket.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
Oh, I hadn't heard that one before, Justin. That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, you should try it. The one of the guys that runs a restaurant here, his brisket sauce is mustard base, and it's good. I mean, he's got some tomato mixed in with it, so it ain't quite hardcore mustard, but actually, I'm going to look up while we're talking about that. There's a guy. They sell it at Sparky's. You know where Sparky's is.
Yeah, well, he's looking at it. What's your thought? What's your take on that question?
So I'm kind of mixed. I like all barbecue sauce, to be honest with you. I mean, I really do. My dad has got a barbecue sauce. So my dad competed years ago, and so I kind of grew up around the barbecue circuit. But he has a barbecue sauce that he makes that is equal parts vinegar, tomato, and mustard, which is unreal. But it just, like, you wouldn't think that it tasted that good, but it is just, I just grew up with it, and that's my favorite. So I like all three if you put it in that context.
Yeah, what I was about to look up, and I just found it on the Sparky's website. It's called Uncle Albert's. And he's right outside of the town that Sparky's is at. And he makes his own, and it's an equal mix of tomato, vinegar, and mustard. So it's a little tangy. It's a little darker than your normal mustard sauce, and it's so good. He sells it in like a half-gallon milk jug looking thing. Anytime I'm through there, I pick up like 3 or 4 of them. And yes, Jason, I will eat it on brisket.
I didn't say nothing wrong with it. I just kind of was taken aback by that. I wasn't saying that it was wrong.
It's all good.
I don't know. I am probably the opposite of all that. I don't really care for any sauce that much. If I'm doing wings, I like it on I like sauce on wings. Mm-hmm. But probably if I say my favorite sauce, it'll be Duke's mayonnaise.
Yes. Woo!
I mean,
Dukes or nothing.
It's just the rest of them. I'll put some stuff on there. I like a hamburger, which is mayonnaise, ketchup, and mustard mixed together. And I do some sauce, but I really think that the sauce needs to complement the meat. It needs to basically be there to help it out, but it does need to overpower it. And the vinegar sauce and the mustard sauce, both of them are they're polar opposites, but still, they're very strong, bold sauces. When they're being that strong, bold sauce, they can have a tendency to kind of overpower the meat. Mm-hmm. So I'd say that would be my biggest thing with those two sauces because they don't really just be like slam. I'm here, knocking on the door.
Yep.
Tomato-based sauce seems to be a little more on the sweet side a lot of times, and doesn't necessarily be quite so overpowering to it. More of a kind of a blends with it. But yeah, I don't care for sauce, and I don't put no sauce on beef. I just unless it's Duke's mayonnaise. But that's me.
When we did the Taster's Choice a couple weekends ago, I didn't put any sauce on anything. I'm with you, Jason. I kind of like for that meat to just kind of speak for itself and for that flavor to come through. But yeah, I mean, if I go out to eat at a restaurant, though, I will throw a little bit. I don't smother it like some people do. I do add a little more sauce to it, though, especially if it's on a sandwich. Yeah, I'll throw a little.
You know, that brings a good point here because just like competition ribs, I do not eat leftover ribs. I don't like them. I don't have nothing to do with them. But I'll eat leftover dry ribs. I've done it at the house. I've done dried them. I'll eat them all day long. But the leftovers, now I'll take home leftovers and I might chop it up and turn it into a summer sausage or add it to something other. But I'm not gonna throw them in the trash. But me just warming up a rib and eating it out of the microwave, no.
I'm the same way. My neighbor got 2 weekends worth of ribs last week. He it's one of those big bags too, and he was like, "Oh my god!" And I was like, "Dude, it's the one thing I don't reheat and eat, man. I love them right off the rack, if they're like piping hot, but I'm not a big rib guy to begin with, so it's not what I'm doing."
I'm not either. I'm not a big brisket and pulled pork is my favorite.
Me too.
I'll choose that over ribs any day, but that's just me.
Now, whenever I take ribs left over and I take them and I put them in the vacuum seal bags and I basically sous vide, get them hot in the vacuum seal bags, they're not bad. But without doing that, they're just going to dry out way too fast. But it's such a small cut of meat.
Yep, and they're already sliced too, so you're losing that already.
Chad, talk about what kind of videos you're going to have come out pretty soon as far as your stuff you're going to post release.
Yeah, so we're changing our format. We're in the process of changing what we do a little bit. We're doing a little bit of the history on what we're cooking. Instead of just cooking videos, I'm going to do some little bit of history behind it. So the one I'm working on right now are the four sauces that we find in South Carolina.
That's cool.
Which is really weird about this question because nobody knows that, but Sandy and I, that's what I'm working on. And then right after that, we're going to talk about the history of the two different styles of cooking pork, which is basting it or wrapping it. And so we're going to run through that and using a basting sauce like the vinegar base. So we're going to look at that. And then right before that, we're going to do a chicken bog. And so we're going to Loris.
Oh, I love chicken bog.
Talking to a couple of restaurants there. And just kind of highlighting this town of Loris just a little bit, and then 2 restaurants that serve really good chicken bog and the history behind chicken bog. And then we're going to cook that and then come back and then cook it. So that'll be 2 or 3 different videos there. So that's what we're working on next. And then we'll be giving away some chicken bog kit that we're getting from CCU. So they sell chicken bog kits over at CCU. So we're getting a couple of those. I'm going to give those away at some point during that video. So,
we did a video on chicken bog early. One of the earlier videos we done was a chicken bog in a Dutch oven on charcoal, which is really interesting. Very, very interesting cooking. It cooked totally different because that cast iron with the charcoal, they cook from the outside sides in. Most of the time we cook chicken bog, we basically cook on the burner. It's going from the center up out, but this one charcoal's all around it and on top of it, it cooked everything from outside in. It was really cool. It was really different.
It was, yeah. But we've got a couple other just like throw together videos, not really thrown together, but just some quick cooking things. Doing a hobo dinner one night. We're coming out. I'm doing a peach dump cake is one of them that's coming out that'll be coming out before these others do. But that's kind of like where we're headed in our videos. We're doing a little bit more history behind what we're cooking and just what makes it special. So that's what
That's really cool. I like your local touch to your videos there.
Yeah, it'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, well, hopefully everybody else does too, right?
Well, trying to figure out the YouTube, Facebook, all these guys' algorithms as far as trying to get out there and get seen, and also podcast stuff. It's I think the biggest thing is just got to be consistent. You just got to do a bunch of them. As far as just put stuff out there and do quality stuff, and because I think that's the biggest thing anymore is just kind of have it where there's more information out there and stuff here, and that's like we're getting ready to do. We've been making some videos. We're getting ready to start releasing a bunch of shorts, and then probably my next video we're gonna probably do a tri-tip. We done a called a Google Foods recipe for a tri-tip, and it's really good. We can probably release that one here Thursday.
Well, send me a note when it's released for sure, because I struggle with tri-tip. That's one I struggle with. Yeah.
I tell you, man, we just finished cooking something over here, and I got the video coming out. I don't know when, but this is the toughest cut of meat I've ever seen in my life, and it's called beef eye round.
Oh, yep, I've heard of that.
All right, so on the hind quarter, it's constantly used. It is tough. I know going into it was tough. It was $20 for a huge roast.
That's a bad sign already.
I know, really, like wow. I didn't like to say, but all right. So I took it, brought it home. I salt brined it for 24 hours. Heavy salt brine, kosher salt, 24 hours. Then I took it out of that. I put some SPG rub on it. Then I put it in a vacuum sealed bag and sous vide it 130 degrees for 24 hours. Then I took it out of that and I smoked it for about an hour and 15 minutes at 450 degrees. And I'm gonna tell you something other. That thing I could take my fingers and pull it apart.
Wow, nice.
But I mean, it was just a long time. But when you do that, the steps have come out to it was crazy. So that's just an idea, kind of there's some different stuff out there. But we're getting ready to release another interview that I've done with Force Revenge and Old Virginia Smoke when we done it at Aiden. We got that one we're gonna probably release here this week, and tomorrow we're gonna release the Google Foods. His I wouldn't say copycat. I didn't use a Wagyu, but basically used kind of his profile on the tri-tip. We had a choice, but it was really good. It's pretty incredible.
I love a good tri-tip. If you get it right, man, it's nice and tender.
Well, I promise you that video we got going out, that recipe, that technique that he done, and it's really cool. It's really unique. But it was insane. And I'm out of drink.
We did a little church contest. I think it was last year, near here, and they provided the meat. And one of their categories was tri-tip. And I was like, man, ain't nobody around here going to know what to do with a tri-tip, you know? And sure enough, people were like, one guy was even up there getting it out of the box. And he said, is that a cow tongue? You know, because it kind of looks like a cow tongue, you know, when it's wrapped up in the thing. So, you know, I'd already studied how to do it up. So I seared it on the Blackstone, you know, on all sides and got a nice crisp edge to it. And then I threw it in the smoker for maybe 50 minutes or something like that, you know, because I knew really proper it needs to be pretty close to a medium rare, you know, and sliced, and it'll be good. And I took it up there and boxed it and turned it in. Well, the weird thing was the teams were actually the judges. So you brought it up, everybody laid them out on the picnic table, and then you had to go around and sample everybody's tri-tip. And man, there were some good ones, and you know, not to my own horn, mine was pretty good. There were a couple that were like, wow, dude, I don't know what in the world you did to that. There was one that I swear was brisket. There's no way it was tri-tip. Like, I don't even know how the guy got it to render out to be brisket, man. There was somebody that had shredded it. And I was like, how in the world did you even cook it to get it to shred? Like, it's pretty lean meat, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, I was pretty impressed with the different styles that people came out with. Most of them were pretty medium rare and sliced, you know, but yeah, the shredded one kind of threw me off a little. It's like, I don't know what in the world that's going on.
Yeah, it's definitely it's a different cut of meat, and also a different cut of meat to slice.
Yep.
you got to really take consideration when you're slicing it how the meat changes directions in there.
Yep.
It's definitely something other to keep an eye on. But it's really when it's cooked right, it's cooked right.
Not a popular cut of beef around the Southeast for sure. You get out to California and that's all you're going to find. A lot of people do tri-tips every weekend out there.
Yeah, we play around with them, but I don't know if I would pick it up over a ribeye or over some other stuff. Man, I think it's a good cut of meat, but I can take a chuck roast, man, and smoke a chuck roast and have with the fat content in chuck roast for about the same price and just be like, wow.
Yep.
But the tri-tip's got the Santa Maria style grills, got famous. It's got some history to it that makes it unique. And I think it's really good, but I don't know necessarily I'd say it was over the top. That being stated, the video I come out with Google Foods following that recipe, I would do that recipe again.
Awesome.
And that's one thing I always say with competitions and stuff here is I get through with it because I'm competing against myself. I said, would I turn everything in again? And with that tri-tip, with the stuff I've done at Greenwood, I would do that same thing again.
Very cool. Yeah, I look forward to that.
But that was kind of cool. So I reckon both of our next contests is actually going to be down in the Savannah.
Mm-hmm.
You gonna be down there Thursday or Friday?
I may come down Thursday, and we may actually come, like you said, on Wednesday and hang out with you.
Yeah, come on.
Just make a couple days out of it.
Yeah.
Hollis he's not back in school until a couple weeks after that. So, that could be our last big one that we get to hang out for a couple of extra days and not have to leave here at 1 o'clock on Friday when I'm sitting outside the school with the trailer, waiting for the clock to hit 1. So he's counted for a full day, that'll be creeping up on me real soon. So I'll let you know, but yeah, we're looking forward to that.
Yeah, come on down. We've got plenty of places to drop the rig.
Awesome.
And go from there.
Let's see. After that, I just brought up my schedule here. After that, we're going to Atlanta the second weekend of September for an SCA contest. The next weekend, Malden, South Carolina, SCBA. And then the weekend after that is Pigmasters up at Rutherford College, North Carolina. 23rd and 24th. So that's going to be a busy month once we get past the first weekend of August. And actually, that Saturday, the first one, August 5th, I think, I just saw yesterday there's a brewery here doing a mac and cheese contest. And I thought, man, I talked to my brother. He's like, dude, I'll come do it with you. So I may be doing some brisket mac and cheese and see how we fare in one of those.
We were in Charlotte this weekend. I think I saw somewhere we were looking around, saw that advertised. I went, that'd be pretty neat.
Yeah, I think it'd be fun, and I can cook everything here and just take it out there. I got all the catering stuff to serve it and everything.
Hey, brisket mac and cheese can't go wrong.
I know. That's what I was thinking, man. You can't. There's no way you can go wrong. And who's going to be coming to something like that with a nice smoked brisket? Probably not too many people. My brother was like, dude, lobster mac and cheese. And I was like, man, I ain't trying to break the bank on this, because I probably got to feed a lot of people and make quite a few trays of it. But I could probably stretch a solid Packer brisket across a couple trays of mac and cheese.
Didn't you say you don't cook burn-ins the contest?
It depends. I don't normally do it from the Wagyu point. If I feel like I want to, try to do one that weekend, I'll get a prime from Costco and I'll cut the point off of that and do the burn-ins from the prime. Now, with that being said, in Greenwood, I actually did cook the point from the Snake River Gold that I got just because I kind of wanted to eat it the next week. And I did not cube it up, and I kind of regret it because that was probably the most tender point that I've ever pulled out of the smoker, man, and it would have made some incredibly good burn-ins. We actually shredded it and ate it here most of the week. But yeah, I'm usually not doing a Wagyu point. And a lot of that came from, for a while, I was cooking those A9s from the butcher shop, and man, those points, they're beautiful, but they got so much fat. There's no way you're ever going to get a burn-in to render out in time to put it in the box. It could probably keep it open for 3 hours after turn-ins.
Yeah, I can't figure it. I couldn't do those. But I mean, I always cook them. I always cook the point burn-ins for the briskets.
Mm-hmm.
And King done it, and he turned them in and got first place. So I mean, but I've never gotten a 180 in brisket without the burn-ins being in the box. So I was just
That's a shame that some judges are kind of expecting them. I even saw somebody post on Facebook that they got a comment card that said "scored down, no burn-ins," and I was like, no, that's not. It's like contest rep should have pulled that one like right away and not had let that guy judge again. Judge what's in the box, not what you expect to be in the box.
Yeah, that shouldn't have got released out.
No, that should not have gotten released. I was like, oh, brr.
Yeah, really. But I don't know. What I was gonna say is you can supplement your brisket mac and cheese with your leftover point and stuff you had.
Mm-hmm. I got a couple in the freezer over there left over from last year. I'll probably end up throwing those in to render them out.
Especially grind it up, make hamburger meat, mix that in there with your brisket.
What I do with them. Or chili.
Yeah.
Those A9s make some killer chili, man.
They do that. Well, listen, that's all I kind of have to talk about tonight. Y'all got anything else need to bring up?
I just want to hit on your video last week of trimming the brisket and the ribs. I really enjoyed that. I wanted to
thank you.
Jason said,
and I think it's important.
Left-handed.
But I did enjoy watching that, and it was interesting to know. And we kind of tried to bring that out in the interview with you. Was it's a lot of prep work.
Yes.
When you're in to get to competition to do well. Jason made the comment like you can get there and then do your prep work, but don't expect to finish well. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, nobody really understands the hard work and like the weeks of prep. I mean, it's not like just a day or two. Y'all are thinking this way in advance, doing the prep work, doing the trimming, and taking your time. It's not something you throw together in 5 minutes. So I really appreciated that video or that vlog last week of you really going through all of that. It was eye-opening to see how much time and care everybody takes into getting things just right. So I thought you did a great job regardless of what you thought about it, Jason.
Yeah, I did too.
It was a great video and I really enjoyed it. So,
well, and I know everybody trims brisket differently, and I totally get that. And I've seen some guys trim them that just scares the bejeebies out of me because it's way too expensive piece of meat for me to sit there and just go at it with a hacksaw. I want to go at it like it's going to be, if I can use it, because I have seen that brisket in the past where I thought it'd be thick at was actually ended up being the thin side, and where I thought it'd be thin turned to the thick side. So sometimes you got to kind of play with it, move it around. So I've done that and seen that, and I just found out that when I used to help my dad wire houses, growing up, we wired houses every night. He always tell me one thing here with cutting. He said, you can always cut it again. If you cut it too short, you can't cut it again.
Yep, that's true.
So I always start long, and you can have it where you need it to be at. But you start getting aggressive to it, next thing you know, you got to pull 100 foot more wire to pull up what you screwed up on. So that's been a philosophy I always had going into the briskets, going into everything I'm doing is cut thin to win. I can cut it thin 2 or 3 times. Might take me a little bit longer, but still, I don't. But if I go in here and try to whack at it and try to go fast, then I'm going to mess myself up. And so that's where I can look at it with everything, with as far as trimming stuff here. But no, I appreciate it. I think the rib video, trimming the rib parts on there was probably done better than the brisket did. I think the brisket was it's definitely different trying to do this with the idea of you filming it. It's really different. Say, okay, I'm filming this here. Next time I do that, I probably need to do 2 cameras, one on this side, one on this side. Therefore, I can move stuff around. But that's kind of where it was at. But I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Yeah. And I enjoy watching you on Tuesday nights. I don't get in every Tuesday night, but I do enjoy watching it.
Well, appreciate it. We're going to try to start expand this a little more and probably have some more people come on there, not necessarily competitors, just have some competition people there. People related to barbecue. The whole purpose of this is to talk about barbecue, grilling, and stuff here. That's what I kind of want to do, is just take this here number and be like, go out there and do it, because the whole process of YouTube for our intention of YouTube is to share techniques, to share recipes, so that somebody can go out there and take it and use this information to do better. That's what the intention was. So to go in that route, and that's the way we looked at it, that's what we want to do. And I feel like the next step to do that is start bringing new people in there, and maybe even do a video and then have people comment about what they thought about a video we've done, as far as things pros and cons about it, what worked, what didn't work, because we have to take into consideration here. I'm taking an hour-long video as far as cooking a piece of meat, 45 minutes, an hour, and I'm trying to condense it down into 7 minutes. All right, so there's a lot of pieces in that, outside of that 7 minutes, that's not into that video.
Mm-hmm.
So I try to put the videos out there and to give all the information I can. At the same time, I don't want to be a teacher and educate you and bore you to death. At the same time, I don't need to be showing my dance moves, because we will all run. So it's kind of like that. Like, I be entertaining, be informative, but at the same time, don't want to just lose the whole process. And that's the thing about it. I want to share information, but I can't have video but so long where it's going to be boring, or it would be for me.
Challenge, man. That's a lot of work to condense down to a little video. Hats off to you for the efforts.
Yeah.
We enjoy it. It's not an expensive hobby, so what else we gonna do?
Cook more barbecue contests if you want an expensive.
That's expensive hobby. No, we're having cut back this year from years in the past, but it's good. We enjoy it. We've been running hard for a long time, and we'll still keep doing it.
Yeah, sometimes you need a breather, you know.
Yep.
Like, I would love to head up to Wise last weekend, but I was like, man, I want to sleep in my own bed for more than 4 days and come back, you know. So
yeah,
Jason disappeared.
Hey, did. Magical act. Yeah.
He's invisible.
Can y'all hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah.
I think my camera just died. Damn. Let's call it a night with that technical difficulties, and we'll see y'all again next week.
See
All
you
right.
next week, everybody.
Thanks so much. Thanks so much, guys. I appreciate that.
Absolutely, Chad. It's great to see you.
Yeah, good to
Thank
see
y'all.
y'all.
Bye.
Bye.